Hello there. So thanks for tuning to Excel Island. My name is Abatan Sheriffdeen, and welcome to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, and welcome back if you're an existing subscriber. So basically, all I do on this channel is I share content about data analytics in general. I don't want to say data science. So I have been live streaming my learning journey to on my analytics skills in SQL for the past 100 days. So I've been doing that consistently for the last 59 days. I think today is day 60. So I had a couple of breaks sometime, especially when this laptop developed a fault. So I missed a couple of days, maybe I think 2 or 3 days. Then I have to come back because this is the only laptop I have to work with. So you may not see the consistency it broke. The consistency had a break because of a faulty laptop. So, but I just after repairing the laptop, I just have to make sure I come back and continue. I had no control over that. So welcome to day 60 of my learning journey using the resources on the Datacamp platform. I actually subscribe to a 1 year subscription on the Datacamp platform, and I am using, I'm, I want to say I am trying to take advantage and make use of that subscription, probably because I paid for it or whatever. Sha. But I don't just want it to go to a waste, and the 1 year just goes by without actually making use of it. So welcome back to the channel once again. So let me show you what it looks like. Let me just minimize this camera. So I am currently on the data analyst in SQL career track. If I go to the career track section, if I click on career tracks, so the goal is to finish the career track before the next 100 days. So I have a couple of more time to practice and on the skills very well. So far so good. I've been consistent with the learning. So I've achieved at least 70% part of the learning. So the career track contains 11 courses with for over 39 hours according to the track. But practicing, learning and learning all over again, you are likely to spend more than 39 hours. So 11 courses, 39 hours, then one project, which is not really enough to practice. So you have to look for more data sets out there and practice the SQL skills. So for the last 59 days, I've completed these courses, and I am currently on the eighth course, which is the exploratory data analysis in SQL. I still plan to go back and retake some of the courses because you can't just it doesn't stay that easily like that. So, but so far the goal is 11 courses, then the project, then statement of accomplishment. Also, DataCamp also has this certification that actually you have to take their certification to show that you actually know SQL. So I plan to take this within the next 100 days. So if I go back here, if I could just go back to the progress dashboard so I can continue from here. So I am on this chapter of the course in the career track. Okay, let me say I'm on this course in the career track, which contains 4 chapters. So I'm currently on the last chapter. On yesterday live stream, I couldn't complete a particular section in chapter 3. I have to complete that section of the live stream. You get it now. So I am on this chapter. So that's why most of the time I don't want the live stream to be too long and boring. I just have to end the live stream, go off camera and practice it and try to find a solution. So if I come here now, say I am on the last chapter of this course, exploratory data analysis in SQL. So I'm on this chapter working with date and timestamp. So I think the first chapter was what is a database, which is quite familiar. Then this one talks about summarizing and aggregating numerical data in SQL. You can watch the previous live stream to catch that. And I think this is the most part that was really shaky because working with categorical data and unstructured data can be messy. You have to know some functions that you need to work with text, especially so categorical data are text data. So you have to know how to work with text data and unstructured data. I plan to take this part of this course all over again, especially this chapter 3. So let's continue from working with date and time stuff. I'll just continue from here. This is the last chapter. So the live stream usually takes me about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, sometimes over 1 hour. So if I just have enough energy to learn more on that particular day. But I try to make sure it's just 30 minutes 45 minutes maximum to an hour. So usually I have to download the slides just so I'll launch the slide on my second screen over here. So while downloading the slide, let me tell you about myself a little bit. I'm a successful, I won't say I'm a successful freelancer yet, but I'm trying to, success is relative. You get it now. I won't say I am successful yet, but I'm a top rated plus freelance data analyst using the Upwork platform. So I've had major success on the platform. So I won't call myself a successful freelancer yet. So, and this is due to the influence of a coach who has taught me all about freelancing, remote work, and how to become a successful freelancer for the past 2, 3, 4, getting to 5 years now. His name is Bengali B, and he has a course currently on, which is the freelance client magnet course. And what this course does is that it teaches you how to become a successful freelancer and run a successful freelancing big business and earn big bucks. You earn enough money from your freelancing business. So he has a course out. I'll leave a link to that course under the YouTube description. Do make sure to check it out. So back here, I've just downloaded the slides. I'll just launch it in my other screen here, and we can start learning. So I'll just quick. The funny thing is that I have all the slides for each course in the career track by each chapter downloaded somewhere for reference purpose. So let's start right away. This one talks about working with date, time types, and format. Date, time, types, and format. I think, and the major skills you need to own as a data analyst is you have to learn how to work with numerical data, text data, and date data and time data separately. So how you work with them is entirely different for each data type. Even there's a data type called array data type. You have to learn how to work with them also.
The last type of data we're exploring is date-time data. As the name suggests, date-time refers to columns that store dates and/or times. There are two main types: date and timestamp. Dates only include year, month, and day. Timestamps include a date plus a time. Times are specified in terms of hours from 0 to 24, minutes, and seconds. Seconds can be fractional down to microseconds. There's also a third date-time type you should know: an interval. Intervals represent time durations. For example, 6 days, 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 8 seconds, or 51 minutes and 3 seconds. Columns can be of type interval, but it's more common to encounter intervals as a result of subtracting one date or timestamp from another. Intervals will default to display the number of days, if any, and the time. Date-time data can be difficult to work with because people record dates in many different formats. Consider some of the different ways people might write 1 p.m. on January 10th, 2018. They might write the date with either the month or day first. They can use 2 digits for the year or 4. They could spell out the month name, abbreviate it, or use numbers. They might specify the time using a 12-hour clock or a 24-hour clock. To address this ambiguity, Postgres stores date-time information according to something called the ISO 8601 standard. ISO 8601 specifies one way to record date-time information. Units are listed in order from the largest to the smallest, the way we write numbers. Years come first, followed by months, and then days. When time information is added, it starts with hours, then minutes, then seconds. Each component has a fixed number of digits, so smaller values must be padded with a leading 0. Time zones are another way date-time fixed number of digits, so smaller values must be padded with a leading 0. Time zones are another way date-time information. It starts with hours, then minutes, then seconds. Each component has a fixed number of digits, so smaller values must be padded with a leading 0. Time zones are another way date-time information can get complicated. Postgres stores timestamps according to UTC, or Coordinated Universal Time. Time zones are defined in terms of their offset from UTC. Timestamps in Postgres can include time zone information or not. When time zones are included, they appear at the end with a plus or minus, followed by the number of hours the time zone is offset from UTC. The example timestamp here is 2 appear at the end with a plus or minus, followed by the number of hours the time zone is offset from UTC. The example timestamp here is 2 hours ahead of UTC.
Okay, that's 2 hours ahead. I don't understand that.
Followed by the number of hours the time zone is offset from UTC. The example timestamp here is 2 hours ahead of UTC. So how do we work with dates and timestamps? Date-time entries can be compared to each other as numbers can, with greater than, less than, and equal signs. You can get the current timestamp with the now function. This can be useful when comparing values to the current date and time. Note how dates in these examples are specified in the ISO 8601 format. They are surrounded by single quotes like character data. In addition to comparing dates, you can also subtract them from each other. The result is of type interval. You can also add time to or subtract time from existing dates. Adding an integer value to a date will add days. Adding an integer to a timestamp, however, will cause an error. Other amounts of time, from years to seconds, can be added with intervals. You specify an interval with a combination of numbers and words inside single quotes, then cast this as an interval. For example, you can add an interval of 1 year. Or
1 year interval. But okay, the date, yeah, this one just added 1 day. We have 2nd of January 2010 here. This one is just changing the type here, data type to date, just to show that it is a date data type. Okay, but in this case, we added a 1 year interval.
words inside single quotes, then cast this as an interval. For example, you can add an interval of 1 year. Or you can specify the interval in terms of multiple units, such as 1 year, 2 days, and 3 minutes. All right, it's that time again. Time to try some exercises with dates.
So let's practice. So which date format below conforms to the IRS 8600 standard? So that should be the year first, then the month, then the date, then the timestamp. So date comparisons. When working with timestamps, sometimes you want to find all observations on a given day. However, if you specify only a date in comparison, you may get unexpected results. This query, select count from this table where date is equal to 2008, 01, 02, returns 0. Though there were 49 requests on January 2, 2008. So that is 2018, rather. This is because dates are automatically converted to timestamp when compared to the timestamp. The time fields are also set to 0. No, I didn't get that. I need to understand that. It says when working with timestamp, sometimes you want to find all observations. So this one is timestamp. So a date that has timestamps, that's the most important thing. Get it now? In a given day. However, if you specify only a date in comparison, okay, you may get unexpected results. Okay, because this date is probably the date has to have timestamp attached to it. This is just a date data type. Yeah. So the one with the timestamp has timestamp. Okay. Even though there are 49 requests on January. So this is because dates are automatically converted to timestamp. Okay. The reason why we are getting the result is getting 0 is because dates are automatically converted to timestamp when compared to a timestamp. These time fields are set to 0. The time fields are set to 0. Okay, select, okay, we have to set the timestamp to 0. 2018-0102 with the timestamp 00. So it's a count request created on January 31st, 2017. So the instruction says count the number of Everseen 311 requests created on January 31st, 2017 by casting the date created to a date. Okay, we have to cast the date. So count star, then we have to say the date is, so in the filtering clause, the vector say single quote, and we say 2017 dash 01 as the month and the day. We have to include the timestamp stuff there. And with the timestamp 0000, just so we could get the results. Let's run the query. Why? Why the error? I need to wrap it in quotes now. If I don't wrap it in quotes, I'm going to get same error. Exactly. That's why I'm missing something. So I need filter on the date. On January, if I check this table, let's just check the date created. Where date created? Okay, I think filter is very good. That's a mistake. Where date underscore created is equal to that. Let's run it again. We have a count of 0. This is probably because I'm putting the timestamp. Let me X the timestamp. Let's submit the answer. Probably not going to accept the 0. I have to check the first entry in the left because the checker is supposed to find date created, then I have to include the timestamp there to force it to accept this timestamp. Okay. That was the reason to fail because date automatically converted to timestamp when compared to a timestamp. The time field I was set to 0. So just set the time field to 0 like this. Date. Now let's do that one more time. Okay, wrong for me. I'm missing something. Let's use the AI to explain the error. Okay, I need to replace the double quote. I'm using double quote there. Double colon. So I'm supposed to use double colon there. That was a silly mistake I was doing. Not paying attention. Let's run that again. Date supposed to have single colon. Date are supposed to have one colon, not double colon. I'm using double colon instead of single. So yeah, with my pause there. I'm supposed to also use double colon in this place. Then single colon between the timestamp hours, minutes, and seconds. Wow, see, that was a silly mistake there. Figured it out. So you say count the number of requests in this table created on February 29, 2016 by using greater than and equal to and the less than operation. Okay, count the requests created on February 29, 2006, where date created is equal greater than equal to this date and date created is less than that date. Definitely tricky. So count the number of requests created on February 29, 2016 by using the greater than. Okay, date created February 29, 2006 and less than that. So you're going to go from 29, 2016, and 16, 02, 29. Why was we having same 2016 to 29 there? Let's run that first and see if my query stop. I'll get 0. Definitely get 0. So I need to include the date there because I'm comparing a timestamp, comparing between two dates. I have to come here now. This is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This could be also double 0. Then I could copy that and also paste it here. Now let's see if I'm going to get a correct result. I'm still getting 0. Why? What's the problem now? If I go back to my first, to this answer here, which is same thing I did here. Date created equals to date equals to this. Go back to this other one. When working with both timestamp and date, you need to keep this in mind. So I'm following the instruction here, keeping that in mind. Count number of requests created on January 31st. So this is the second question. This is the first question. So the second question says count number of requests also created on February 29 by using February 29. So the date created is equal to or greater than February 29 and from between two dates. So even if it's between two dates, that should be correct now. I'm going between same dates, not even two dates. I'm copying between same dates. I should have 0 requests there. Let's see. If I try to submit that now, let me see. Aha. What are you saying? Abuse? Check the first entry in the left up hand of the binary section. And in the second try to find date created greater than or equal to 2016 and date created less than which date? This is not fair. You are already specifying one time period here. You're expecting me to use two time periods to be a day apart. The two dates you compare needs to be a day apart. Oh, you have to specify, you have to compare, count the request made on February 29, 2016. So the first day, this first day will be February 29, 2016, and less than, so it will be only for that day. Wow, that is like an eye opener. Just have to be a day apart. 57. So you're only comparing results for this particular date. You're only counting the result for this particular date. And I want to start, the starting date will be from this 2019, this 2016, on the 19th of February 2016, and less than the 20th of February. So it's only going to count for this particular day alone. Wow, that's another way to write question. So a lot of learning is going on here. If I submit that, close down the challenge again. Yeah, that was is there now. Let me just copy this for copying sake. That's what I have there. I not get leaving error again. To 29, 2016. That should be a day apart. So this one has to be January 30. I'm counting the wrong date. So I'm not paying attention. Wow, what's the challenge again?